Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I read a lot. Today I'm gonna do something a bit different. I need to cook dinner, and while doing that I'm gonna talk a little bit about a topic that you can see in the description and in the title. So first of all, what I'm making here are lentil and potato bowls, I guess. It's a vegan option for like Swedish meatballs. So that's what I'm making for dinner, and I need to roll these, and I'm gonna talk to you at the same time as I'm rolling them. So let's see how well that works. So I have a handful of potatoes, lentils, red onion, and some garlic, some chili, and some... I was gonna have thyme, but I have like an herbal blend because I didn't have any thyme, just thyme. So the topic I want to talk about today is something that I watched another booktuber talk about, and he made a video about how Neil Gaiman had been his favorite author, and the title was, wait a minute, When Your Favorite Author Becomes a Monster, or something like that. And he talked about like the impact of Neil Gaiman on his reading and himself as a person, how not wonderful it was to hear about Neil Gaiman's predatory lifestyle, you can say. So there are quite a few of these authors there are quite a few authors that we might want to reconsider how we should support them or not. So Neil Gaiman being one of them, J.K. Rowling being one of them, and I'm sure there are like a list of authors that you have as well. Please share in the comments if you are thinking of an author that I might not be thinking about, that has questionable ethics or behaviors, or it can be predatory, or it can be where they put their money and that sort of thing. Because I wanted to make this video because of J.K. Rowling, okay? So this motion is when I'm rolling the balls, just so you know. I wanted to make this one because much because J.K. Rowling, but also because there are so many authors we might want to not support but still enjoy. Me personally, I have never really gotten into Neil Gaiman's books, so that's not a problem for me personally. So the first thing I want to say is that if I was gifted a book by one of these authors, I would probably say, I'm so sorry. I thank you for thinking of me, and thank you for whatever the reason the person might have for gifting me that particular book. I would thank them for thinking of me, and for I would thank them. And then I would say, but unfortunately this author is problematic at the moment, so I don't want to support them, and I would rather you didn't either. So do you have the receipt left? I would not back away from asking for the receipt of that book, and say that I would be happy to take this book back to the bookstore, and pick something else out that I might enjoy, if that's okay with you. Because I won't be buying books from any of these authors at all. And I know there are people saying like, well, we should differentiate the author from the art. And that's a nice sentiment, but when the author, like in J.K. Rowling's case, puts her money in questionable places, and sometimes more than questionable, I don't want my money that I use to buy books to go to the, because if I give her money, even if it's just a percentage of my money, that money will go where she chooses them to go, and her ethics and her values are not in line with my values, because essentially I'm a trans person and she doesn't want me to exist. So and she puts her money there as well, so it's not just talk, it's action. So I the funny thing is, I'm not even a fan of Harry Potter or any of J.K. Rowling's books. I read the first one, and I saw the first movie, and then it wasn't really my cup of tea in that way. And I was also going through a period of time in my life when I couldn't really be myself, and everyone loved Harry Potter, and so a part of me resisted that, because I couldn't be myself, but I didn't want to be. But the only thing I could do was to not be like everyone else. So that's how I kind of avoided the Harry Potter hysteria, you can say. So how I had a conversation with my dad recently, because he has children in his life that he might want to, like, he was like, well, what do I do if I want to buy these books for them? And I was like, don't. First of all, don't. Please don't. There are so many other stories. You don't have to be the one to introduce people or children to books by an author that is this way. That's not something you have to do. There's nothing in humanity, like there's nothing that says that everyone needs to read the Harry Potter books. And secondly, if you want it to be done in like a good way, if you want to educate at the same time, then if you have the opportunity, then buy the books secondhand. So that's my general recommendation. If you really are in a situation where you want to buy the books of a questionable author, preferably in education, for educational purposes, like you might want to read the stories and then let the children know that these are wonderful stories, yada yada, but remember that this author has these values, and also not just that author, but like a teaching moment to be like, remember to not just take everything as at surface value. Look into people that you look up to, if it's an author or an artist in some way, in another way, look them up, follow them on social media or whatever, and make sure you understand where you put your money by supporting them financially. So, and if there are like authors that we get to know things about, like Neil Gaiman, like long afterwards, and of course J.K. Rowling, and you don't have to throw things away, but buy secondhand, support fan fiction more than the original stories. There are so many ways to enjoy the art, but not support the artist, So, and that might feel weird at first, but I promise you, it will feel good in your heart. It will feel so good in your heart to make that choice. So, and remember, there are libraries. And yeah, of course, libraries also purchase books, but they purchase them for a wider audience, and one book can be read by hundreds or thousands of people. And yeah. So my thought on all of this is, make sure you know where your money goes, and be prepared that if someone don't have that argument of just, well, I separate the artist from the art, because that's not that doesn't go, you know. That's not how the world works. If an artist puts all of their money and all of their passion and things into something that you don't align with, then you are aligning with them, maybe unintentionally, but not and rather stupidly, when you could just not, you know. So if you want to enjoy books that you if you want to continue to enjoy books and continue to buy books by questionable authors, whoever it may be, I would urge you to buy secondhand. Because if you buy a book secondhand, then the money goes to the person that sells the book, that is selling the book, that probably needs that money. Maybe to buy other books, but maybe also to finance their life. And wouldn't it be wonderful if you actually bought a Harry Potter book from a trans person? Or buy a Neil Gaiman book from a person that is struggling with, like, that maybe needs money for because you know what Neil Gaiman did. I think you know what he did. So you can imagine what kind of person you could maybe buy the book from, or just buy secondhand, thrift, and make sure it's not new books. So these are a hell of a lot of lentil and potato balls. I'm starting to get sick of rolling them or pressing them or whatever I'm doing. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. And yes, you don't have to sell everything you own by an author because they are questionable or have made questionable choices or put their money in horrendous places for horrendous causes. But don't continue to support them financially. Yeah. So I hope you have a happy week of reading, and I will talk to you soon. I will talk to you in my next video, where I hopefully will talk about a couple of more books. I'm struggling a bit with the one I'm reading right now. But yeah, I will see you soon. Xingling.